Good morning, everyone. So you made it to the grand finale for our conference. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And you're the smart ones in the room, because not only do you get to hear Dr. Armento do some wonderful inspiration, but you get to stick around for the raffle and win some really great prizes, all right? So, great. So I'm Joe Feinberg, and for the next hour or two, president of GCSS. And, thank you for making this such a wonderful, successful conference. Last count, as some of you may have heard yesterday, we're well over 850 people attended this conference this year, which is a record for this century. So thank you guys. So I'm a professor at Georgia State University, and I have known Dr. Armento back in my days when I was here at the University of Georgia being a graduate student, and met her over 20 years ago here at the University of Georgia when she visited, and I have been inspired and continue to admire the amazing work that Dr. Armento is doing. She is emerita faculty from Georgia State and has been, an inspiration for so many students, so many people over the many decades of work that she how many of you are middle grades teachers out there? So we've got a middle grade expert, former teacher from the grades, so she's here. And I've had the honor to hear her talk just a year ago, and get some tissue ready, but at the same time get some inspiration to build up, because she is going to help you realize the true heartfelt benefits that you do to help your students succeed. And Beverly recognizes that without her teachers, she wouldn't be where she is today. So think about the teachers that made a difference in your life. Think about the many students that you are making a difference in their lives. And be prepared to just hear some amazing stories and, as I said, inspiration from Dr. Armento. So my pleasure.
Thank you. Amazing. That's pretty hard to live up to, isn't it? 800 people registered for GCSS? Man alive, that does my heart good. It says to me, social studies is alive and well, right? Amen. And teachers, you are alive and well. If the pandemic has taught us anything, it's taught us, what the answer is. Teachers matter. Teachers matter. They matter not only to what kids are learning and can learn and do learn, but teachers matter to children's well-being. Every day you do this, and you do this well. The pandemic has also taught me that schools matter. Public schools matter. I would not be in the, quote, middle class, and maybe the same for you, if it weren't for public schools. Public schools matter. And My heavens, social studies matters. Social studies matters. What you do every day is important. 60 years ago this year, that was 1963, I walked into my first class. I know I don't even look 60, do I? But believe me, 1963, it was a group of fourth graders. You know, they're 9 and then 10 years old in fourth grade in Paramus, New Jersey. I'm in touch with a good group of them still after 60 years, and they remember everything. Of course, that was the year JFK was killed. We were together for that news, that awful news, and we were together for lots of good times and lots of learning. And let me tell you, they can say to me, "You said this." Excuse me? They remember what I said. Don't forget that. That's pretty important. Now, my hope for you is that you're still standing after 60 years of teaching. Or maybe 10, or maybe 20, whatever. We need you, and we need you now. Now, I think about my career, this long career, as a rewarding, wonderful experience. It was a wonderful career. That does not mean that it was a rose garden. You know, there were culture wars. There have been culture wars before. And I was front and center in the 1989, early 90s culture war. It ain't no fun. The same way that this one ain't no fun. But I'm still standing. And you are too. And you will be too. I've had disappointments. I've had disgruntled students. I've had disgruntled parents. You know, you see this every day. But it doesn't defeat us. It challenges us to be better. Always look on that as a challenge. So, what's carried me through these 60 years? In large part, it's because I intended to do something. I had a purpose. Now, purpose is grounded in our personal lives. Your purpose and my purpose, they're personal purposes. My purpose is not your purpose. My purpose came from my life. And for you to understand my purpose, I have to give you just a snapshot, a quick snapshot of my life. I grew up in an abusive, dysfunctional home. I was the oldest child. And as the oldest child of a blind, mentally ill mother, I was her seeing eye girl. I helped her see her way across the street. I helped her see where the baby food jars were in the kitchen cabinets. I did that by organizing the cabinets in a certain way so that all the meats were in one line, all the vegetables were in one line, and all the fruits were in one line. Right? It's a good idea. I read the newspaper to her so that she could see and hear the news. At home, though, even though I was her seeing eye girl, Nevertheless, that didn't stop the rage, the delusional thinking, and quite frankly, the beatings. So at home, I was weak, Beverly. But wasn't I lucky? I had a safe place, and the safe place, you know it, was school. It was school. All through my life, it was school. And it was my angel teachers who encouraged me, who empowered me, who helped me see that I had a voice. My teachers, in a sense, were my seeing eye teachers. They were my seeing eye mentors. They helped me see that I was capable, see that I was a leader, see that I had a sense of humor. And at school, I got to practice all of those things. They helped me see that I could be managing editor of the school newspaper, that I could be president of the Latin Club. They helped me see that I could and would go to college. A kid with no money, no resources, who lived in public housing all of her life. Yes, I could go to college, and I could and would become a teacher. They did it. They put those messages in my mind. And I believed them. I believed them. And I did it. How cool. So, when it became time for me to decide what I was going to do with my life, becoming a teacher was sort of like an obvious thing. Be a teacher. Be just like my teachers. And here it comes, my purpose. Give back to my teachers by passing on to my students the gifts that they gave to me. That, in a nutshell, was my purpose. And it was that purpose that gave meaning to my career, and essentially gave meaning to my life. It was that purpose that gave me intention. Intention that helped me decide what decisions I was going to make, even on a daily level. Because why? I had that image in my head of what my teachers did for me. And I wanted to do the same thing. I wanted to become a seeing eye teacher that opened the world for my students, whether they be middle school students or university prospective teachers or a person in the doctoral program. They were all my students. I ask you, when you walk into your classroom on Monday, why are you walking in? I know somebody's paying you to do it. That's good, but that doesn't go very far. That does not give your life meaning. Your purpose will give your life meaning. Clarify for yourself, what is my real reason for being a teacher? Why am I here? Why am I here? And the more clear that your answer is, the more clearly you will have your purpose working on your behalf to help guide your decisions, guide your life, and give meaning to your career. Now, there were a few other basic beliefs, and these all pretty much derived from my early years that I carried into the classroom with me that allowed me to have a good career. James Baldwin once said, "The children are always ours, every single one of them all over the world." Well, that's pretty powerful when you think about that as a teacher. Asa Hilliard, my colleague, used to say, "Treat them as if they were your own." So if they're your own, what does that mean? Like a parent, you have great responsibility over the care of each one of those children or adults, young or older adults. And you have great power over each one of your students. What do I mean by power? You have the power of your voice and the power of your actions. And it is through our sins of omission and commission that we commit either to harm a child or to empower a child. What you do and say and what you don't do and don't say matters to kids. The way you look at them, the way you move toward them, the way you interact with them, the way you acknowledge them every day. Hi, Sam. Good morning. How are you, Sam? Sam needs to know that you know he's here today, that you care for him. How do you show that to each and every child every day? Now, each one of you, I am sure, has a Beverly Armento in your class. And when the Surgeon General says to us, mental health is the defining health issue of our times, especially among young people, it's time for all of us who work with young people every day to wake up and pay attention. Today's young people, maybe more than ever, I don't know if it's more than ever, but the numbers don't look good. If you've been following any of the CDC reports, you know that almost half of the high school students report that they have sadness, great sadness, that they're lonely. My goodness. Did that come from the pandemic? Did it come from the times? We know that the child suicide rate is up. That's been moving up for the last decade, at least. Even younger children think about it, and some do act on it. It's a serious time. There are lots of causes. You know, it's not only what goes on at home or in the community, but look at what's happening in the world and the kind of world kids are in today. If we only had social media, we know about bullying and other issues that are accentuated through social media. But we also have wars. We also have violence. We also have guns. We have guns in schools. There are lots of things that kids are anxious about. Okay, you're probably saying, look, Armento, I don't really want to get a degree in psychology. No, you don't need to go there. You don't need to do that. Just be aware of these things. And there is something you can actually do. And that is be kind. be kind, and create a classroom environment where kindness is the rule of the day. To child, adult to child to adult, kindness is your MO. It's easy. It's easier to be kind than vicious, quite frankly. Watch yourself on that dimension, because there are lots of things that also cause stress for us, educators. I don't want to go into that right now, but you know what they are. I know it's a tough time. I realize that. In spite of it, when you walk over the threshold of that classroom, you're there for the kids. They're not there for you. Mull on that for a moment. So, treat them as if they were your own. Become a seeing eye teacher, a seeing eye mentor. Show them, help them see what kindness is. Help them see how empowered they are. Help them see they can talk to each other. Help them see they have a voice. You can do that. You're already doing it. Another basic idea that I've had in my head all of these years is that every kid can go far. Look, I was the dirty kid from the projects. There were times when there was no running water in the trailer. We had to go out to the clubhouse to wash up. There were years when I lived in one room with a sink, a utility sink, no shower, no tub at all. Needless to say, I probably was dirty. Sometimes when I went to school, maybe even smelled a little bit. So, you know, it's easy for adults to say things like, "She'll never go far. Don't invest in that one." I dare say I've heard that come out of teachers' mouths. That one's going nowhere. You know the kind of family he came from. Negative predictions laid onto kids. In spite of those negative predictions that sometimes we actually say to a child, goodness forbid, but children get that message. If you think it, you transmit it in the way you act toward the child. In spite of those negative predictions, many kids succeed. They defy those predictions. I know some researchers that call that negative prediction defiers. Maybe you are a negative prediction defier. I think I am. As a negative prediction defier, in a particular study that I'm referring to, these researchers looked at successful people that were brought up poor, neither parent graduating from high school, and then successful people that grew up with money, both parents graduated from high school. It's an extraordinary study conducted several years ago. The title of that book is called Pathmakers. Why Pathmakers? Because those kids like me had to make their own path in the world. Maybe you are a path maker. I'm sure I have fellow path makers in the audience today. And your students are path makers. A path maker makes his or her own way in the world. Their parent doesn't get them into Harvard and doesn't pay for their going to Yale. You know, these are the kids that go to Georgia State and work 3 jobs to pay tuition, even though they have the Hope Scholarship. They're all around us, negative prediction defiers. And as a society, we need to encourage those kids. But we need to encourage them mainly while they're in elementary, middle, and high school so that they know they can persist and they can be successful. We want to give them those messages. I urge you today to think about being a seeing eye teacher for your students, a seeing eye mentor. Help them see themselves in the world, in the social world, in the political world, in the economic world. Help them to have a voice and know enough about all of those worlds so that they can navigate their way through life. That's our job as social studies educators. It's not just teaching about this stuff. It's teaching it in such a way that students feel like they are a part of all of these systems that are going on in the broader society. I want to leave you today with a gift that I received on Wednesday, just this week, as I was getting ready to drive from Dunwoody to Athens. I opened up my emails, and here's this message. It's from Mary Kay Prey. Mary Kay Prey is an old voice in my head. Okay, Mary Kay Prey. And she says, "Hello, Miss Armento." I swear to you, this is what came to me on Wednesday. "Hello, Miss Armento. I don't expect you to remember me, but you taught me in 6th grade at McIntosh. That was in Sarasota. That was my 2nd class, 1964 to 65. She goes on, "I never forgot you." Oh my. You were the best teacher I ever had. Oh. I'll always remember you took Maggie Moore and me to see My Fair Lady. And I remember our Calypso band and Harry Belafonte and the big mural we did. You were an amazing teacher and an all-around wonderful person. I truly hope your life has been all you could ask for. You left a lasting impression on me. I just wanted you to know how much I appreciate you. And yes, I'm crying. Sincerely, Mary Kay Prey. May you always have letters from your Mary Kay Preys. Thank you very much.